Hello.
We have been getting a lot of questions about macros lately. A lot of you ask if we count calories, if we track our macros, if we do, how many macros we do or eat in a day. We've also gotten a lot of questions on how many macros you had when we first started, and if we counted calories and what our calorie intake was then. And I think they've said it before that we don't track our macros. We don't know how many calories. We have an idea just because of how long we've been in the weight loss fitness journey. We have an idea, but we prefer not to track it. When we first started, we didn't track calories. We had no idea how many calories we consumed in a day. All we knew was that we needed to cut our portions down, and that's what we did. We portioned every single thing out. We still ate food that we liked. We just switched to portion control, and we've seen a lot of results like that. And in the middle of our fitness journey, I started to think that it was time for me to track calories. And as soon as I started tracking calories, that's when I set myself up for failure. Every time that I try to track, I become a little bit too preoccupied with the numbers, and it just sets me up for failure. It doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work for Kyle either. I know a lot of people think that it's important to track your calories when you're losing weight, but it doesn't always work, especially if you are an emotional eater or a stress eater. That seems to just make emotional and stress eaters more emotional and stressful, and just go back to binging, set you up for failure basically. And that's what it did for us. Instead of continuing to get results, I started to backslide because I got too obsessed with it. And as soon as I stopped tracking, I started seeing results again. And every time that we just let go of feeling like we're supposed to do what everyone else is doing, which is right now tracking your macros, that's a huge popular thing right now. As soon as we say, no, we need to listen to our own bodies, and we just eat intuitively and eat to fuel our workouts, we see results so much faster. We've seen fat loss and muscle growth in both of us grow so quickly. In the last 3 or 4 months, we've seen major results in our bodies, and that's because we're just listening to ourselves and we're eating intuitively, and that's really hard to do. But once you start practicing it, you'll get really good at it, and you'll learn to just trust yourself. And when you can let go of what everyone else is doing and not try to put what you need into someone else's idea of what you need, that's when you'll start to see the results. So we just wanted to answer all those questions. Like, we try to answer them the best we can, but no, we don't track macros. I don't plan on it ever again, because anytime I do, it doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work for Kyle. So if it works for you, that's great. But for us, we found it doesn't work. And if you're out there and you're struggling and you're counting calories, try not counting them, try not tracking them, just listening to your body and portioning your food, and you might see better results that way.
And if knowing your perfect macro number was the problem from the beginning, it's not too hard to find that out. I mean, you can go online and Google what your macros should be. Mm-hmm. That's obviously not most people's problems that are overweight, and it wasn't our problem. Our problems were not knowing our macros. It was emotional problems.
Yeah. And macro tracking does work for some people. And sorry, that's Hank playing with his toy in the background. There are people that it works perfectly for, and that's great, but it doesn't work for us. So that's why we don't track our macros, and I've never seen better results. And I'm so much less stressed when I don't worry about calories, because I know my body now. It's taken me 4.5 years to figure out my body. Well, actually, it's taking me 30 years to figure out my body. But sorry, Hank really likes this toy. Now that I've finally figured it out, I know what works for me, and not tracking and being relaxed and just letting my body do what it needs to do, that's what works for me. And that's what works for Kyle.
Yep.
Yeah. So we hope you guys learned something. Hope you, if you think that it might work for you, try doing it a different way. Like we said, if tracking your macros isn't working, try just listening to yourself and listening to your body. And you may gain weight at first, and then you might start to see really good results really quickly. It's all about trial and error. And it's not about a magic number that just, you hit it and you lose weight. You have to work for it. Even the people that do, if it fits your macros, they're tracking constantly. They're manipulating their numbers all the time to try to figure out what works for them. So that might be too much. It's definitely too much for me. I would rather be enjoying myself, knowing what I eat. I eat pretty much the same thing every day, so I don't get stressed out about it, and neither does Kyle. And then we get one day where we allow ourselves to eat whatever we want without measuring, without tracking or counting or anything like that. And it really works for us. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, and don't forget to like and subscribe, or else this one down here, he'll get ya.
Of course, now he's quiet now that we're done the video.
And this will get ya. Boom. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.